Hello guys on YouTube, I hope you're fine. Very much welcome to this video where I'm going to talk about Planetside 2 and ask you the question, how is Planetside 2 doing in 2020? It's quite a few years ago since this game was released. Well, we're getting to that soon, but before we do so, if you like FPS gaming, me checking out older games, newer games, AAA indie games and so forth, going also back as I'm doing here in my little series where I check out games that I've at least spent some hours playing before, well then consider to subscribe and turn on that notification bell so we can meet up also here on the beautiful platform of YouTube in a nearby future. But for now we're going to concentrate on Planetside 2 and asking the question, how is Planetside 2 doing in 2022? Yes, because it's already 10 years ago since this game was released in 2012 and it was released on PC and also PlayStation 4. It was developed by Rogue Planet Games and the publisher was Daybreak Game Company. Now this is a successor when it comes to the original Planetside, and I think that was released in 2003. So it is an older game, and I guess you can see that also when you're watching this gameplay. But I think, and I want to say this initially when we're talking about Planetside 2 and other games also, especially older games, I think you should reconsider if you're really stuck into like graphics, that it has to be amazing graphics and things like that. Don't get me wrong, this game, I still think it looks good for being a 10-year-old game. Because what I try to say here is that gameplay is foremost the most important thing, at least for me. It's a combination of good gameplay, the weapons, the whole atmosphere of the game and the universe where it takes place. And believe me, this is a vast, big universe where you will come into play as an infantry soldier or driving a vehicle, and you will do that together with hundreds of players. I would say even more, because Planetside 2 actually holds the Guinness World Record for the biggest first-person shooter battle with over 1,158 players. Can you imagine that? Being recorded in a single battle. So the game also later beat its own record in 2020, and then it had a player count of 1,283 players participated in a single battle, and I have to say that's just freaking amazing. Imagine also that is a game once again that is 10 years old and it has that capacity. And I gotta say, when I started to play, this is just a spontaneous thing getting off my kind of, I don't have a script by the way, I'm talking from the heart right now because I'm very excited. It was quite a long time ago since I got excited coming back to a game like this, and I'm not gonna lie, I am a noob when it comes to Planetside 2. I haven't played this super many hours, but as an experienced FPS gamer, I would say at least, I could definitely already during the first hour recognize that this is a really good game. And something I highly recommend you to check out, especially since it's free to play, so it doesn't really cost you anything. And in times like this, oh my god, you just gotta get in there, you know. We're gonna talk a bit about the game. I mean, some of you guys have never played this, and maybe you're like me, you did go into this game and played a few hours back in the days, maybe in 2012 already, or 15 or something like that. I think that's when I was playing it for the first time. So simply explained, this is an open world first-person shooter apparently, and I've already mentioned that you can be a lot of people in the same game. It features fights of over 200 players in close proximity, and it actually supports up to 2,000 concurrent players on a single game server. That's why they were also able to beat this Guinness World Record we talk about. And just like the previous game, the first game, players attempt to control the planet called Auraxis on behalf of their faction by capturing territories across numerous continents. And players can choose between 6 distinct infantry classes and use 18 different ground and air vehicles, each of which play unique roles on the battlefield. And this is the good stuff, of course, also if you like me, like this kind of class system in a really like big scale, almost battlefield game. I'm using that word, I think you understand why. So these continents can be captured or locked by a faction. So when a faction gains 100 empire strength from capturing a territory, an alert is triggered and it lasts for 90 minutes. So whichever faction controls the most territory by the end of the alert captures the continent, and all players are awarded certs and ISO 4, with the victors earning substantially more. A combat advantage is also given to the winners, which will be active until that continent is once again unlocked. So more than one continent can be open at once if server population increases. And I have to say now, I've been spending hours playing the game now, 2022, more than I did a few years ago, that I really like that concept and I do think it plays really well. And here also, as in older Battlefield games, oops, I said that name again, well, you have to consider your class, I would say, what you're playing as, and try to fill in that role, if that makes sense to you. And I think that's really fun. You feel that you are actually contributing if you're doing that and if you're playing well, so it's quite rewarding. And as you've seen here, since I do mainly play as a sniper, I have been having a lot of fun. I like the sniping also in this game. I tried 2 snipers and yeah, I had fun. I must say though, I'm foremost an infantry gamer player, so I haven't really been trying the vehicles, but it looks a lot of fun and I can see that there's a lot of experienced players that are doing that role or taking that challenge really well. They're performing well, so it's good for the team, especially when you need a transport and you need to get to the front line, if that makes sense. And yeah, there's a lot to say about the game, and of course if you want to know more, I guess since the game is old also and it's been very popular and it's still popular, there's a lot of videos that is explaining that part, I guess, even better, because it would be a video of its own if I would go into more details. Because what I want to also to say is that this game is definitely doing well in 2022. It feels, for me at least, coming from the outside now, trying it out again, vital and healthy, I would say. I know that the glory days might be over in certain ways, but there's definitely still a lot of people playing the game. We're getting to that in a second. I also want to mention that I am playing on the European servers, so I don't know how it's working right now when it comes to US servers or an Asian servers, but they are there. So you should be able to play if you live in another, we're talking continents now, since I've been playing about Planetside. So yeah, it should work for you guys as well. Let me know your experiences, of course, in the comments regarding this. But nevertheless, we're gonna also take a look at the player count, and here we are when it comes to Steam. As you see, it has still a lot of players, I would say, especially again considering it's an older game, 10 years old. But as you see, it's actually had a kind of buff lately when it comes to the beginning of this year of 2022. So with that said, well, not the newest graphics and not 5,000 people playing this game every day, but it doesn't really matter because it's still enough for you to get a really nice experience. And again, as I said initially in the video, gameplay, and good player value, at least from what I can see. I have probably missed out on so much in this video, but I hope at least I gave you an impression that is, well, you probably got that I think it's really nice game and definitely worth playing in 2022. So with that said, thanks a lot for watching. I am still thinking about things that I wanted to say, but I think I got it mostly covered, at least, especially also if you never have played Planetside 2 before and maybe your eyes open up to a game that is out there free to play and is a heck of an experience when it comes to a big, huge Battlefield sci-fi game. Okay, thanks for watching. Later.